Hello, folks. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about microplastics. So, before that, I'm on Instagram and I'm on this page called sexeducation.india. So, I believe these people are, people who actually help with sex education and whatnot. And it says it's a youth led movement giving you the comprehensive sexuality education you should have received in school, building a safe community and whatnot. And so recently, one of my friends shared an article from this page along with this Instagram page along with other pages has done a post on microplastics, right? So interestingly, they start off by saying that the only time size matters. Usually, people talk about size when they talk about sex and when they talk about men, and when they talk about men's penises. And a lot of men joke or are macho about their dick size or penis size being really big. So here they talk about how the only time the size matters is when we talk about microplastics, right? So they're referring to the size of the microplastics, right? We'll come to it. Let's look at the whole post, and we'll also check out and understand why these people are talking about it. They say that microplastics are actually grabbing you by the balls and not in a fun way, right? And you can see this interesting thing wherein they show basketballs instead of like actual balls or actual testicles of men, and for plastic they show a straw, right? So they're saying that the microplastics are actually grabbing you by the balls, by your testicles, and not in a fun way. And let's look at the post description in some time. So who's in your room, right? So microplastics, right? So or tiny particles of plastic, so hence the name microplastic, right? So micro being very little, nano, micro. I think the other terms are pico or something like that. Yeah. So it's less than 5 millimeter. So they are as abundant and annoying as people's opinion about their sex life. Since this is a page about sex education, they talk about people's opinions about their sex life and how it's abundant and annoying. And similar to that, even microplastics are abundant and annoying. So it turns out they've become a huge pain in the ass, or huge pain in your balls in this case when they try to refer to it. Though in general itself it's a pain. We'll see it. By the way, this is a thing. This is a collaboration post by Sex Education along with There Is No Earth B, that is, there is no planet B or Earth B, another Earth. Of course, sexeducation.india and Fridays for Future.india, right? So they're showing how small these particles are. They are this small and smaller, is what they're saying. I think it's just for reference. Probably 5 millimeter is more smaller. I'm not sure though. So why does it matter? Why does microplastics matter, right? So for people who want to have kids, so because sex education page is about sex and kids and reproduction and stuff like that, or just sex, let's say, because there can be sex even without having kids and all that. So but here they're referring to having kids. So for people who want to have kids one day, so this may be a huge problem because microplastics in testicles means lower sperm count. You need more sperms to have a higher probability of having kids, I think, or so I assume. And hence this is a problem. Like microplastics in your testicles is a problem, right? How does it even go there? We'll come to that. So even if you don't want to have kids, it's not ideal to have traces of plastic in your testicles or like traces of microplastics in your testicles, right? So and it's not just your testicles, right? So traces of microplastics have been found in human blood, placentas, breast milk. So it's not just men, right? It's women also. So any human, it's not just men, women, like there are so many genders. So any human can have this problem of having microplastic in their human blood. And then if they are actually giving birth to a child, then in the placenta, which is what I believe connects the mother and the child, and the breast milk highlighting widespread contamination. So it shows that we are contaminated by microplastics, and doctors have found out some pretty crazy stuff about these things, these microplastics. So you probably got it. So a recent study has tested 23 human testicles. So sex education is talking specifically only about testicles for some reason, though they could talk about microplastics in general also. But since this is their page, I think they're just talking about testicles and sex related stuff. So a recent study has tested 23 human testicles and 47 testicles from pet dogs, finding microplastic pollution in every sample. Right. So human testicles had 3 times more plastic than dog testicles. So humans have more testicles in their body, like human testicles in this case, is what they're trying to say, than dogs, dog testicles and human testicles. So they're talking about how those little swimmers, they're talking about sperm, I believe, which swims across from the penis, from the testicle to the penis to, say, the woman's reproductive system. I believe the vagina and all that. I don't know too much, unfortunately. So those little swimmers could do with some privacy and not have microplastics, right? So along with them in the testicles. So also in March, doctors. So I don't know which March they're talking about. Probably the 2024 March. In March, doctors reported. I believe Indian doctors, all of these. So in all Indians or in general, probably I don't know, because this is sex education India. Anyways, also in March, doctors reported potential life-threatening risks, including stroke and heart attack, linked to microplastic contamination in blood vessels. Okay, so we are talking about having microplastics in blood. So basically, how that can lead to stroke and heart attack when you have microplastic contamination in blood vessels. How it's like related and linked. So other studies with smaller sample sizes have all raised concerns about microplastics causing genetic abnormalities. So in your genes, like let's say you have kids and then their genes and whatnot, the genes of the whole generation, how it can cause genetic abnormalities. I'm guessing it's like a big problem when you have genetic abnormality, because when you have kids and whatnot, the whole genes is like all going through the generation, right? And then hormone disruptions. Um, so a bit complicated terms. I don't understand all of them, but looks like it's a pretty serious problem, right? Microplastics. So that's all they're done with it. Actually, it's a small post. So they say send this to someone who needs to look after their balls, though that would mean just men. Though this can be looked at by even any human being, because microplastics seem to affect everyone, I believe. Looking at the post and what I just read a few minutes ago, which I'll show you. So, and the planet on which the two exist and whatnot. So, and the description says size matters, not in the way you think it does. Did you know that PVC is a popular name when it comes to PVC pipes, which are water pipes and whatnot, which you I mean PVC is a material that you use to create water pipes. So did you know that PVC and polythene are the most common plastics found in testicle samples? I'm guessing it's coming from the water that we drink and stuff. And polythene bags, people use plastic bags. So life in plastic is clearly not that fantastic, and we are sure your balls would agree. And this post is the plastic free love child of There Is No Earth Bee, Fridays for Future.India, and Sex Education.India, because there is no climate justice without social justice and vice versa. So it's an interesting post, and you can check it out on sexeducation.india website, like Instagram page. And looks like they probably have some YouTube and whatnot. So infographics and what else? One moment. And they have taking matters into your own hands, I'm guessing.
मैंगो मिल्कशेक बनाने का मन कर रहा है इस गर्मी में?
Yeah, in your own hands.
इसके लिए बैंगनापल्ली मैंगो बेस्ट होते हैं क्योंकि उसमें जूस काफी होता है। पर इसे आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करें? ये आम के स्किन और फ्लैश।
And not sure what this is about though. Probably about, I don't know, masturbation, because taking matters into your own hands, right? So I don't know. So anyways, I'll check out this video, and it's like a, I don't know, 8-minute video, pretty small. I can easily see it. I've seen bigger videos also, in parts, of course, one by one. And interesting posts, like you can see stuff like ringing that back door versus rimming the back door, if you know what that means, and many things. And they don't talk about just heterosexual stuff, I guess. They talk about lesbian visibility day and all, as you can see over here. It's an interesting page, Instagram page, so you can check it out. And let's look at microplastics, right? I was actually checking out about microplastics over here. So I was asking Google Gemini AI about it. So let's see what Google Gemini AI knows. So I asked, what are microplastics? Where all can they be found? How can they be consumed by us without our knowledge? How can they ever enter our bodies without our knowledge? Right. So microplastics are tiny plastic fragments less than 5 millimeters in size. That's what like we read just now in the post. They come from various sources apparently, including the breakdown of larger plastic items and microbeads used in cosmetic products. So these microplastics can be found everywhere in our environment, including our oceans, lakes, or rivers, basically any water body, and even the air we breathe. I mean, it makes sense in the sense that water becomes water vapor and it gets into the air and all. And I guess these are too small that it can get into the air also and be part of the air as a particle. I don't know, probably in the form of solid only, or I don't know which form. Microplastics can enter our bodies unintentionally in several ways: ingestion, inhalation, dermal absorption. So, ingestion, as the name says, food, water, and all, so can contaminate our food and water supply. They can be absorbed by marine life that we consume, say you eat fish and whatnot, or any you know seafood. So if the seafood that you eat, say fish, crab, and whatnot, they ate microplastic and you eat them, well, you're kind of indirectly eating the microplastic, is what they're trying to say. Or they can leach into your drinking water from plastic pipes, basically PVC pipes and whatnot, which is what we noticed in the post which spoke about PVC, right? Is found in testicles and all. So that's how it can enter your body and it can get into your testicles. Like it can reach your testicles, apart from reaching other parts, I guess, and like, of course the blood and all that. So inhalation, as the name says, you inhale, you breathe, so it's air, so it can be present in the air we breathe, especially in urban areas apparently, which makes sense in the sense that urban areas are popularly known to be polluted and highly populated and polluted. Anyways, so dermal absorption, as the name says, dermal is kind of related to skin, so through skin it can be absorbed. So microplastics in cosmetics or personal care products can be absorbed through our skin. So the long-term health effects of microplastic exposure are still being studied, but it's a growing concern. By reducing our reliance on plastic products and supporting stricter regulations, we can help minimize microplastics pollution, right? So pollution, contamination, and all this. So, for example, I eat a lot of stuff from outside, and a lot of times they actually give you plastic boxes. Though these are biodegradable plastics, doesn't mean. So, for example, I was asking Google Gemini about biodegradable plastic, and does it also mean plastic? Like it must mean, right, some sort of plastic, and does it have microplastic? So it does. So biodegradable plastic is also plastic, and it does have microplastic. So you are correct. That's what Gemini says. While biodegradable plastics are designed to decompose under specific conditions, can still break down into microplastics. During the degradation process, right? These microplastics, though biodegradable themselves, may persist in the environment for a long time if not properly composted or decomposed of. So the ideal biodegradable plastic would completely decompose into harmless elements without leaving behind microplastics. So researchers are apparently actively developing new types of biodegradable plastics that address this concern. I didn't check the how valid this is or how correct this is, but I do know that I eat a lot from containers like these, which are kind of like plastic containers, probably decomposable biodegradable plastics, but surely I think they would contain microplastics. So it's a concern for me, in case it causes heart problems for me, for someone who wants to keep their health really good. So thinking about kids and all is something later. But of course some people would want to ensure that they have options. They always want options. They don't want to be I don't want to already lose my sperm count and whatnot, because in case I decide to have kids later, I don't want to lose that option of not being able to have kids, lose that option of having kids, because now you have, say, microplastics in testicles, lower sperm count, causing problems. right? So plastics like these, like today I ate from three of these boxes. This is like so basically, like, you can see two boxes I have. I ate from 4 boxes like these, right? Some sprouts and whatnot, and so sprouted green grams, and then I ate some soaked peas, and then I ate what else? Soaked black chana, and then I ate some salad on a black similar plastic bowl. So all of these, like, I got it from outside or ordered and whatnot. So a lot of food items come in food containers like these, so it's very problematic. And then I basically also sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes I do get plastic bags. These are biodegradable, but then these are still plastic, and I get fruits and vegetables in these. Then this is a problem, right? I usually use cloth bags like these, right? Cloth or similar kind of material bags, but then these are small. When I don't have enough space, I end up having to get a bag from them. Though biodegradable, still not a great idea. So I still haven't checked out the source of all this information that I got from Google Gemini, but seems sensible to me. But I'll probably check out more, and I'll actually recommend you and urge you to check out more about microplastics, and understand how they can affect you, and think about considering, like, using less of plastic, and more of other alternatives. Even if you have biodegradable plastic, I would say don't use it. Even for bottles, water bottles and whatnot. For water pipes and whatnot, I think it's going to be really hard, and for air, I think it's going to be really hard. For cosmetic products, I think a lot of people use cosmetic products, something as simple as lip balm or skin lotion, like moisturizing lotion and all. And people use very complex products also, like makeup items and whatnot. It's going to be pretty hard for a lot of people to manage this, but I think we'll figure out ways on how to deal with it. But for now, you can reduce your plastic usage, maybe to avoid problems, or to reduce the microplastics that can enter your body, and whatnot. So whatever you can do, will it make a difference? Maybe, to some extent, maybe. In the higher, bigger scheme of schemes, I don't know. But for you, maybe it'll make some difference. And in general, I think it's just a good idea to just avoid plastics. I think there are multiple reasons. This is just one reason. I'm still learning about climate change, problems with plastic, even if it's biodegradable plastic, and like, looks like microplastic is one problem. Though in the future, I think we'll have biodegradable plastic that doesn't leave microplastic as a residue when it decomposes and degrades. So yeah, that's all I had for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.